Are estranged parents sharing their experiences with estrangement on public platforms a problem? I get a lot of interesting comments on this channel, and this one I thought I'd talk about because I get this comment pretty regularly. I don't know what happened between you and your daughter, and it's clear you are in pain, and I am truly sorry for that. However, going about it the way you have and publicizing the situation to the entire world in hopes to shame her into contacting you is a surefire way of ensuring she remains no contact. She clearly needed time and space. If you respected that boundary, then things may have over time changed, but you did not. Instead, you involved the entire internet. I truly hope that someday you and your daughter can reconcile, but as a pastor, I can tell you I've dealt with families in similar situations, and the way you are handling this is not the way that will lead to any form of reconciliation. I would like to thank All Saints Church for their empathy. It is an interesting comment, and there is a faulty assumption in here. I did not put this video out here in hopes of shaming her. I put this video out for the benefit of other parents. A lot of other parents are going through this, and they're alone, they're confused, they feel so much shame, they think they're the only person going through it, they have no one else to talk to, and I thought long and hard before putting that original video out, and I did it in a way that was very different from how people typically talk about estrangement, at least on YouTube. I did it in a very vloggy, emotional style to really convey what it feels like as a parent going through this kind of cutoff. At the time I made that video, we had been 3 years of no contact. It had been 3 years since the cutoff. And 1.5 years into that, I happened to stumble onto her TikTok account, which I didn't know existed before that, and found her talking about her estrangement publicly on TikTok. So it made me think. Estranged adult kids were everywhere online talking about their situation with their parents. So I thought, well, why not parents? We're people too. Why can't we talk about our stories for the benefit of other parents? The kids were talking about it for the benefit of other kids. What's wrong with the parents talking about it for the benefit of other parents? So the intention of that video was, again, not to shame my daughter at all. It wasn't even made for her, except for the last 2 minutes, which I'll get to in a sec. It was for the parents suffering alone and in silence and in shame. And it also seemed like, from what I had seen in many of the parent Facebook groups out there and other online forums, I know that estrangement has been around since the beginning of time, since at least the Bible and probably before that. But it seems that it was a bigger phenomenon, and maybe that's just social media amplifying it. You know, it's just so much easier to talk to the entire world now on social media. But it seemed like more of a trend, and it was not just parents who had abused their child, neglected their child, beat their child. What I was seeing is that it seemed to be happening to a lot of so-called normie parents, where you had a husband and a wife, and they had given their children nice middle-class lifestyles, at least here in the US, and I'm learning also the Western world. And of course, we're families. We all have our little dysfunctions. We argue, we bicker, we have disagreements, we make up. I guess what was shocking to me and my husband and other parents like us is that, you know, you can still be ghosted, you can still be cut out, you can still be estranged for, you know, politics or religion or whatever the difference of opinion was. There has been some kind of intolerance that is now in society. I think it's important to talk about uncomfortable things as well. I don't think we should shy away from these things. This is how we learn. We face our discomforts, we talk out our discomforts, And honestly, looking at trends in society, this is not just private parents in the home being bad people. It's society as a whole is changing. And I get a lot of flack for bringing society into it. So many comments on this channel, that, oh, you're just trying to deflect the blame and blah, blah, blah. It's never you. You don't take accountability. It's all the usual stuff. And honestly, none of you know what's in my head. None of you know what accountability I've taken. And just because I don't tell the internet everything doesn't mean that I haven't reflected, that I haven't taken accountability, that I haven't accepted things the way they are. We live in a yin-yang world, right? There needs to be balance. And we have internal problems, we have external problems. So yes, sometimes it's family dynamics. There are family dynamics in our situation with our daughter and her personality that played into this, I have no doubt. And there are external factors too, which actually brings me back to this point that All Saints Church made, which was kind of interesting too. I agree that she needed time and space, and we definitely have come around to giving that to her. In the beginning, it was hard to believe it was such a departure from who we knew her to be, but I get it. People change, they evolve, they make new friends, their friends influence them. They make their own choices based on the stimuli in their environment. And so fine. It took me a while to get used to that. But then the way they word this, instead you involved the entire internet. That was not my intent either. My intent was to create a small channel for parents where parents could support each other through this, for many of us, very traumatic experience. I never expected so much of the internet to find this little corner and involve themselves to the point where they are hunting me and my family down and making reaction videos. It is so interesting to see so many people just on a daily basis pop into this channel, watch some portion of a 17-minute video, make all kinds of assumptions, and spew their feelings. And honestly, a lot of these people are hurting. I get that. It's been hard to take, honestly. I'm kind of a people pleaser, and I want people to like me, and clearly they don't. So I've had to come to terms with that. But so be it. It is what it is. I've had so many parents reach out and say thank you. I thought I was alone. I was depressed. I was going to kill myself. Literally beyond words. I mean, the right people have been helped, and the wrong people, I guess, need a place to vent. And so here we are. But I do need to say something about the last 2 minutes of that original video. The last 2 minutes of that original video, remember, I did this 3 years after no contact, and 3 years is a good amount of time for many things in life. 3 years is about the time it takes for a plant in a garden to get established. 3 years is about the time for a business to perhaps take off. And 3 years seemed like a pretty solid time of, finality, perhaps. There may be no reconciliation. She set the boundary of do not contact me unless it's a family emergency. We have not had any family emergencies for many years now, so I am respecting her boundary. And with that boundary comes the realization or the acceptance or the whatever that I may never speak to her again, and I may die with zero reconciliation. I mean, it just may be. I mean, I have to accept that, right? I cannot put my life on hold in limbo waiting for her to do something. I can't control what she does. I don't want to control what she does. You may not believe that. Whatever, can't convince you. But that's truly how I feel in my heart. If I were to die without ever speaking to her again, what would I want her to know? And those last 2 minutes of that video are what I want her to know. And that is essentially that I love her, and I know she has a good heart, and I'm happy that she's following her dreams, and I wish her all the best. So that's my message from the grave before the grave. Sounds really rude to say. Parents, I just want you to know that you can heal from this, and please share your stories. We need to help each other. This is not just family dynamics alone. This is our relationship with our kids. that we may have made mistakes. They may have made mistakes. And for whatever reason, it's not working. But it's not just us and our kids. It's also the society that they live in. They are adults now. They have left the house. They are out there talking to other people, consuming other content, doing other things. So it's not 100% all on you, the parent, because they've flown the nest and they're working through all these other influences and they're trying to do the best they can with what they know. And so there are a lot of factors at play. So it's not just you, and we just have to do the best we can and move forward. And I just want you to know that you can do it. It's a process. Put your mind to it. You can do it.